Okay, welcome everyone. This was the Labor Day finale, and what a game! What a game. So we had the Los Angeles Sparks going up to Seattle and taking on the Seattle Storm. And everything was looking good for Seattle early on. They had built a lead, they were playing solid, and then LA just came, Hamby. Oh my goodness. Hamby was really strong in the fourth quarter for this game. Just she was willing her team to win. She ended up scoring 27 points. She was 13 for 18. She was just driving to the hoop and trying to make them stop her, and they couldn't. They couldn't. The Storm were up by like 13 points with I forget how much was on the clock, but like 4 minutes left, 4 or 5 minutes left. They were up by 13. And then they just couldn't hit a shot. And the Sparks were just, 120%. Just it was like a bulldozer coming through. And Seattle couldn't stop them. So the Sparks get the win 91-85, and they are now tied in the loss column. Seattle has played 3 more games than them. So it's going to be I guess Seattle is playing. Seattle has 2 tough games. They're going to have to play New York, and they're going to have to play the Valkyries. And the Valkyries are up 2-1 on them. And, both of those are going to be tough games for Seattle. But, they are just as likely to win both those games. So this is what makes this last week plus exciting. It's just, especially you have the Fever, the Valkyries, the Storm, and the Sparks all fighting for those last 3 spots. And with the way things are going, it could go. At first I thought the Fever would drop out because I looked at their schedule. This was a couple weeks ago, and I thought, oh boy, with the injuries that they have, and I thought they would drop. But they won some games, and they're in it. So, these last couple games, every team, like the Sparks, have to play Atlanta twice. Seattle's playing New York and the Valkyries. The Valkyries are playing Minnesota twice. And they have New York tomorrow. So I think all 4 of these. And then the Fever have to play. They're playing Minnesota, and they have some other tough team they have to play. I can't remember who it is. They might actually have to play the Sparks. I'll have to look. Anyway, but each of the 4 teams have tough games coming up. And it's just going to come down to who makes it through those games and who survives. And so you have the Valkyries with 18 losses, the Fever with 19, and then the Sparks in Seattle now with 20. So this is going to be really exciting. This next week is going to be just really exciting. This and then the beginning of next week. It ends on the 11th, so it's all going to shake out in the wash. So Seattle, nice first half, outscored them 25-20, 28-19 in the second, but then LA started, they weren't going to, give it up easily. 29-20 in the third, and then 23-12 in the fourth. Seattle just couldn't score in the end. Points in the paint, the Sparks doubled up Seattle. And you look at Seattle and they have big players. It's 60-30. You would think that would be somewhere close to even. Seattle had more fast break points. They had their biggest lead was 17. And like I said, it was like 4 minutes. I don't remember exactly how much was on the clock. They had like a 13-point lead. Turnovers were pretty even, points off turnovers within a point. So that wasn't the problem. Let's see. The Sparks shot 52% and 22% from 3, and Seattle shot 42. They shot much better from 3. They had 40% from 3. Yeah, the 3-point shooting did not do it for LA. It was all inside. Everything was inside. And they used, You wouldn't think that would be an advantage for them, but they sure made it an advantage. Um, so led by Rickea Hamby, 27 points. She had 11 rebounds. She was just hustling all over the place. She had 3 steals, 2 turnovers, 2 assists. She was 13 for 18 from the floor, which is 72%. And then you had Rickea Jackson. She had 23 points, a block. She had 3 turnovers, but 1 assist, 2 rebounds. She was 7 for 14 from the floor and 8 for 9 at the foul line. She was only 1 for 5 from 3. The 3-point shooting was not good for LA, but it ended up not hurting them. Stevens only scored 3 points. She took 3 3-point shots, and that was it. She had 2 steals, and 8 rebounds and 2 assists. Kelsey Plum, 14 points. She had 5 turnovers. She had 3 steals to kind of nullify the 5 turnovers. 7 assists, 3 rebounds. But she was 1 for 7 from 3. She was putting up those 3-point shots, and they just weren't falling. She was 5 for 18 overall, which is 27%. Plum was actually hurting them. But, she figured it out and went inside late in the game, so it worked out. Julie Alamon only had 2 points. She had 6 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 turnovers. She was 2 for 2 at the line. Didn't hit a shot. Cameron Brink ended up fouling out of the game. She had 9 points. That was a really iffy call that fouled her out of the game. She had 1 block, 2 turnovers, 5 rebounds. She was 3 for 6 and 3 for 4 from the line. And then you had Ray Burrell in double figures. She had 11. 2 turnovers, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. She was 5 for 6 overall, 1 for 1 from 3. And then Sarah Ashley Barker got some playing time. She hit a shot. She had 2 points, an assist, and a rebound. So on to Seattle, you had Diggins and Nneka with 21 points. They did what they needed to do. They just didn't get enough help from everybody else. There's Gabby Williams only had 8 points. She was 0 for 4 from 3, 4 for 12 overall. She has just been so inconsistent this year, and I really like Gabby. She just has not just consistently been shooting well. Ezzy had 11 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. She was 4 for 5, 1 for 1 from the foul line. She hit 2 threes, too. Brittany Sykes, another bad shooting night for Brittany. 7 points, 1 steal, 2 turnovers, 2 assists, 4 rebounds. She was 2 for 11, 0 for 2 from 3. And then Skyler, 21 points, 6 assists. She was 8 for 16 and 3 for 6 from 3. So she was 50% overall. So Skyler had a good game. Malanga, 8 points. She had 2 blocks, a steal, 2 turnovers, 1 assist, and 2 rebounds. She was 3 for 4 from the floor. They need to get her more shots. And she was 2 for 6 from the free throw line. Erica Wheeler, 6 points. I need more from her, too. It's just been a different dynamic when they traded for Brittany Sykes. Erica Wheeler was doing really well. And they haven't figured out how to work all 3 of them in together. She had a block, a steal, a turnover, an assist, and 4 rebounds. She was 2 for 6 overall. All of those were 3-point shots. Tiffany Mitchell got 6 minutes. She had 3 points. She hit a 3-point shot. So anyway, this is having repercussions on the playoff picture. The final week of the playoff picture. This is going to be really interesting to see who makes it. Because one of these 4 teams is not going to make it. And the other 3, it's all a matter of positioning. And no one wants that ace spot because then you got to go up against Minnesota. Not that, the Aces or Phoenix or Atlanta are picnics either, but you definitely don't want to go up against Minnesota. So, anyway, it was a great game. Very exciting to watch. And just the beginning of the pre-playoff push. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.